Hey guys, welcome back. In this video I want to give you my long-term review of this Stanley Spotlight. This is the Stanley Fat Max and the model number is SL10LEDS. When I got the Grand Marquis, I wanted to get a flashlight for the trunk to keep in the trunk, you know, for an emergency situation. And what I was thinking in my mind is if I are disabled on the road and I need to call a tow truck and it's something I can't fix and I'm going to have to wait for the tow truck, if it's at nighttime, I want to be able to have something to flag him down to make sure he can find me. So I wanted to get a flashlight that had a long enough reach, you know, maybe longer than just a regular flashlight. So that's why I chose a spotlight. Another criteria that I wanted is I knew I wanted it to be rechargeable because I didn't want to have to fill it with batteries. And of course I wanted that long-range beam pattern. I wanted to be able to throw light at a very far distance. So I bought a few, I tried them out. Maybe I bought about maybe 2 or 3 or 4, and I settled on this one. This one is the absolute best one. And to tell you about the specifications, it has 2 power modes. It's got a high mode and a low mode. And on the high mode, you can see it says 2200 lumen. And I just happen to have another flashlight that is 2000 lumen, and it's from a reputable company, and it's got that FL1 certification on it, so I know that's a 2000 lumen flashlight. And I put it up next to this one side by side, and I can confirm this spotlight really is 2200 lumen on high. So that's nice. And the low low setting, there is no specification of lumen on the low setting. So I just happen to have another flashlight from a reputable company that is around 600 lumen. And I put it up next to that side by side, and the low setting is very similar to the 600 lumen, maybe a little bit more. And as far as run times go, it says here right on the box 10-hour runtime, but that really doesn't tell you much, because is that high or low? You know, who knows? So I had to do a little testing where I set it up with a camera and just let it run until it went off. And on the high setting for 2200 lumen, it lasted 3.5 hours, and on the low setting it actually lasted 11 hours. So that's pretty good. Another thing is I should have mentioned first is that there seems to be 2 different models of this light on the market. And the first model, you can tell it's the older model by the way the charger works. The older model has the old style traditional plug-in charger where it's got a transformer, and then it's got that bullet type connector that goes in there. And those lights, that's the older generation. This newer generation, it has a USB. It charges from the standard USB, and that's because this little unit, it can double as a power bank in an emergency situation. If you need to charge your phone or your iPad or any other device, you can turn this on and you can charge whatever device you want. So that's pretty neat. And how you charge this thing is it came with, they were nice enough to include a cigarette lighter, a USB charger, and an AC home charger. But the one thing is unique about this is the charging cable that it comes with. It's big USB to big USB. It's not the micro USB. So this is the only cable that I have that has both of these connections on the same cable. You know, all my other cables are this size to micro or this size to mini or whatever it is. So I've been meaning to get another one of these cables, you know, maybe a 6-foot cable, but I've never gotten around to it because this light, the permanent position, it lives in the trunk, so I really don't use it. You know, I pull it out once every few months to charge it, and that's about it. Another good thing about this light is the batteries. In the owner's manual, it said the batteries can last up to 1 year in storage, so that's pretty nice. I won't let it do that. You know, I pull it out once a month to charge it. I think the most I left it in there was 3 months before I charged it up. And then sometimes I'll grab it just to use it and play with it. During testing, I wanted to test, you know, how far the beam would go. And there's no specification on this box saying how far it'll go. But in my neighborhood, I think it goes maybe about 1/8 of a mile. And I can remember when I used that, it was about midnight or 2 in the morning or 3 in the morning. I heard this owl and it kept hooting for, you know, hours and hours, and I wanted to see what it was, so I went out there with this flashlight, and sure enough, he was up in a redwood tree, and when I put the light on him, his eyes turned around and he looked right at me, and he was about 1/8 of a mile away. So this light, you know, it's pretty impressive at night. You know, I felt like Joe Pesci and My Cousin Vinny when he comes out and that owl's hooting. He couldn't sleep. Okay, so let's get into the lows of this light. The lows is it's made of plastic. You know, if you drop this from a 6-foot drop, it's probably not going to make it. This does not look too durable. And that's kind of acceptable to me, because this is not, I'm not going to be using this as an everyday item. This is just an emergency item. You know, if you're broke down on the road or disabled, so that's not really a deal breaker. The other thing is it's not waterproof and it's not water resistant. They do make models of these where they'll actually float in water. This is not one of them. Another thing I want to mention I like about this one is it has a single LED chip in there, and I really like that, because some of the other ones I tested, they had multiple LEDs, and you know, one LED was high and then the other 3 were low, and I really don't like that, because eventually one of those chips is going to burn out, and then you've reduced the brightness of your flashlight. If you've just got one chip, when it goes out, you know it's out, and you just get a new one, or yeah, get a new one. This light was $44. I got it from Walmart. I just checked the website. They're still available. They're still up for sale. I'll put the link in the description. They also sell them at Amazon. And I've had this for about 6 months, and I've been using it, you know, just to play with it. And I really like it. This really worked out. You know, I'm sure if I got on the internet and started looking again, you know, there's probably something newer and better and more powerful. You know, it's like that with anything. You know, 6 months in technology is, you know, forever these days. But I really like this. It worked out. It passed all my tests. You know, it's a keeper. Oh yeah, it also came with this red lens. You put this lens on there, and I guess you can shine a red light on something. I really don't know what the heck this is for. Maybe somebody can tell me what this is for in the comment section. No clue what this is for. There's no mention of it in the owner's manual. Okay, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.